Hey, what's up guys? Josh from Trobuilt. So we finally get to the point in our lives, whether it's intentional or unintentional, where we have this four-wheel drive rig. But there's only one problem. You've never been off-roading before. So in today's video, we're gonna cover the top 5 rookie mistakes while off-roading. So make sure and hit that subscribe button so that way you guys can hold on to the ride with us. In no particular order, first, and the all too common rookie mistake while off-roading is faking it. And we've all been there, right? It's our first time off-roading, we're nervous, we're really not sure what the heck we're doing. There might be a whole bunch of bystanders around watching and our anxiety is through the roof. And the next thing we know, we're mashing the gas pedal, holding on for dear life, and the next thing, there's parts and carnage flying everywhere. Maybe your rig gets a little loosey-goosey on you and you slide straight sideways into a tree or rock ledge, or some kind of body damage happens, or maybe even brain damage happens, I don't know, because we didn't take the time to get some seat time and get comfortable with our rig first before picking the hard line. I know this firsthand because that's exactly what I did the first time I went off-roading. I mean, it made for a hell of a great show for everyone that was standing around, but it also cost me a set of gears and a rocker panel. Sometimes all it takes is a little seat time first, and then once you hit that first obstacle, a little finesse, picking the right line, and listening to your spotter can get you through some of the most precarious situations. And guys, if you're beyond your comfort level, well, sometimes we just have to swallow our pride, ask for some help, or take the bypass if there's one available, or maybe it's just having someone experienced jump in and take over for a bit until you get through that tough situation. There's no shame in learning how to swim before diving off the deep end. And number 2, forgetting or not even knowing you have a low gear in your transfer case. When you take your rig off-road for the first time, a common mistake we see is when people use four-wheel drive high in their transfer case while trying to crawl rock gardens, rock ledges, downed logs, or other various slow-speed obstacles. In 4 high, the engine is working overtime and the wheels just aren't providing the forward momentum speed needed to get over some of those obstacles. How the transfer case works in four-wheel drive is it transfers power from the engine through the transmission into the transfer case and then to both the front and rear axles via the drive shafts. 4 high will split that power evenly from the engine in what's called a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning the same speed that the transmission is spinning at the output shaft is the same speed that is being sent to both the front and rear axles. When the transfer case is shifted into 4 low, the gear ratio changes to typically either a half, a third, or even a fourth of the speed of the engine through the transmission output shaft, which multiplies the amount of torque to the wheels. This allows the tires to spin at a slower speed, allowing the driver a more controlled speed to conquer certain rock crawls, ledges, or various other obstacles where increased torque and slower speeds would be beneficial. So make sure you know how your rig functions before going out to go off-roading, and you will not only save yourself some wear and tear on your rig, but also some embarrassment as well. Number 3. Probably one of the biggest mistakes we see while out on the trails is running street pressures in the tires while off-roading. Running a lower air pressure in your tires is probably one of the easiest and most effective ways of increasing traction while off-roading before upgrading to new tires, wheels, or suspension at trobuiltoffroad.com. Lower tire pressures will increase what's called the footprint, allowing the tire to grab and grip more of the surface that you are driving over because the tires will be softer and more pliable. Airing down will allow the tires to conform or envelope to the shape of the rocks, improving traction and even helping smooth out the ride. Remember that with airing down, you'll also want to decrease your speeds as well, since the tires will now be a lot less responsive when it comes to steering and also to air back up to street pressures before hitting the highway. That way you don't run the risk of heating up your sidewalls, which is what causes tire blowouts. If you're unsure as to what you should air down to, either ask someone experienced or air down to about 15 psi, as that is usually a pretty safe tire pressure in almost all circumstances. And for the love of all things traction, make sure and air down as soon as you get to the trailhead. Number 4, another major mistake is to go off-roading by yourself. This was a major mistake that I made myself right after getting my '94 Grand Cherokee. It wasn't more than a week after getting it that I got the itch to take it and go off-roading. Well, that proved to be a huge mistake because, lo and behold, I ended up getting stuck and high-centered on a hill. I had no recovery gear and was in some rock quarry with nobody around for miles, no water, no food, and it was about 100 degrees that day. After what seemed like an eternity in hell, stacking rocks under the tires, jumping up and down on the bumpers, shoving logs under the tires to try and free it with it not even budging an inch, I ended up having to call my dad, who was about an hour away, and fortunately he came to the rescue, and once we got everything hooked up, it was a quick pull on the strap, and within minutes got the Jeep freed up and learned one heck of a valuable lesson and promised myself that I would never do that again. Well, not without the proper recovery gear like a winch and proper tow points, shovel, high lift jack, and recovery straps. We never anticipate that we're gonna get stuck, but if you get the itch, like I did, to go off-roading with your newly acquired 4x4, do yourselves a huge favor, call up some friends first to go with, or maybe even find a local off-road club and go with them the next time they have an event, but just don't go wheeling by yourself if you're not prepared. And number 5. Spending a ton of money on aftermarket upgrades before knowing your rig. There's probably no situation more embarrassing than driving a high-dollar rig with thousands and thousands of dollars in modifications and upgrades only to be outwheeled by a stock $500 beater. You've got all those fancy light bars, but no lockers. The best thing to do is, after you have decided to go off-roading with whatever four-wheel drive rig you have, is to get to know your rig first. Take it out with a group of experienced off-roaders as many times as needed to get as much seat time as needed to really get to know your rig and how it performs off-road. Now, I don't want to discourage you from purchasing thousands of dollars of aftermarket upgrades as we sell them, but until you really feel comfortable with your rig, then head on over to TrowBuiltOffroad.com for a fresh set of wheels, tires, suspension, and accessories as well. That way, the next time you hit the trails, you'll be conquering every obstacle with ease, because if you can off-road your rig successfully while it's still relatively stock, then adding upgrades will only increase your driving skills and your rig's off-road performance. Now guys, we realize that there is a whole bunch of you that are new to off-roading, especially with how popular it has become in recent years. So hopefully these top 5 rookie mistakes will help you out in one way or another. And guys, there are definitely a lot more tips and tricks or do's and don'ts for off-roading, not only for beginners, but for everyone that is into the off-roading sport. So if you guys have any other recommendations as to what advice you would give while off-roading, just let us know in the comments below. That way we can cover those in a future video. And guys, also don't forget to hit that subscribe button, thumbs up to like the video, and guys, as always, we appreciate all of you for watching and all of your support. I'm Josh from TrowBuilt, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.